tight. There we are.
Nice.
There it is.
Nice.
Good job, Jim.
Nice work, pal.
There's one of the day.
Broke the ice with a beautiful yellow edge. Oh, yeah.
Nice work.
I love those fins. Sure, that's in the boat. See how he's hooked with that? That's perfect, right? Right in that lip. No, but if you had a lot of slack, rip it right out. You know what I mean? So that's why it's so important to keep that tight. Good job. Big tile fish.
Yeah.
Now reel by hand, just a little bit. Oh, okay. Oh, you're good, you're good. Oh, yeah.
That's nice style.
Yeah. Are you ready for this? Oh, yeah.
Wow, amazing. Oh my God. Oh yeah, look at that.
Great tile fish.
That's one. 17 to go. Jig, is that your biggest tile fish?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
How you eating them, baby? How you cooking them?
Ceviche.
Ceviche! Woo! How about that one, baby? How about that one? There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Right there. Good job, pal. You felt that bite and you got it all dialed in. Hold that thing up and say, Florida Sport Fishing TV. Beautiful, yeah. Fishing TV. Yeah. Woo! Yellow edge grouper. Woo! Told you there's groupers here.
Yeah, baby.
Not a giant, but we'll take it. You know what the size limit is on those things?
This size.
That right there. Beautiful, right? A beautiful fish. This, of course, is a baby. They get to be this big.
Yeah.
Every time you drop down, it could be a giant one. Wow. But he ate it.
Sweet. Grouper guns.
Nice to see something other than a tile fish. Yeah. You can see what I mean? Even his mouth. Wow. Even for a baby, he's got a giant mouth. So he can suck down a bait much, much easier. All right, guys, check it out. Got an absolutely awesome adventure in store. I've done a lot of jigging, all right, a lot of jigging in the past, all along the eastern seaboard, Bahamas, Gulf of America nowadays, all the way to Costa Rica, jigging all sorts of, bottom fish, pelagics. And I've done a lot of deep dropping with electric reels, with power assist reels, Bahamas, all up and down the eastern seaboard, even in the Pacific. But what I've never done is jigging with electric reels, all right? That's like a whole other thing, right? Is going out and deep water jigging using power assist reels, and that's what we're gonna do today. Captain Bobby on board, okay? And we're gonna go out there and we're gonna give it hell. We're gonna fish deep, 600 plus feet, dude. Anything less than 600 feet, I think you can do manually. You know what I mean? So, but when you get past that 600 foot, and when you're fishing jigs that are 400 grams, 500 grams, it becomes very strenuous. Can you do it manually? Absolutely you can do it manually, but how many times are you gonna do it?
Once or twice.
Right, once or twice, a few times at most, unless you're really a proficient jigger, a few times at most. So having power assist tackle really just enables you, I'm hoping, to fish much longer, to keep our jigs in the strike zone for much longer. And you say, oh, wait, why even do this, dude? If we know we can go out there, drop baits to the bottom, how long would it take us to get bit?
Depends on the bite, but sometimes quick, sometimes not so quick.
Right, but often you're going to get bit, dude. You fish bait on the bottom, you're going to get bit. And you say, well, why not just stick with that? Is a jig going to be better? In my opinion, a jig is going to be better because a bait is a stinky old squid and a piece of cut bait, which works, but it's not alive. It's not alive. A jig is alive. And for the big snowy groupers, the yellow edge groupers, I believe they're going to respond much better to something alive than something dead. But to keep that in the strike zone, we're going to see if these power assist reels can help us be more efficient fishermen. So over 600 feet, Heavy jigs, just Bobby and I, we're not coming back till we've got a tile fisher or grouper on a jig with a power assist reel. Stick around, this is gonna be tight. Got out here 630 feet. We're gonna give this power assist jigging reels a try. Now what I'm doing is just to kind of give you a quick little heads up. There's a little valley up in this area here. I know it's a target rich environment. We catch groupers, we catch tile fish here. 630 to 650 feet. Looking on the Peruno TZT. All right, I can see this perfectly. The rock structure, the formation. All right, I can zoom in, I can zoom out. Really just modify the entire thing. Really, really cool stuff. So I stopped, I see which way we're drifting. Bobby, we're gonna be drifting at about 1.5 miles an hour. So that's gonna be perfect, dude. Yeah, usually, you know, we can fish right when we come out here 2 miles an hour, 2.4. But here we are at 1.5, so I think we're gonna at least have the conditions in our favor. Why don't you start up in the bow? You're gonna drop that 400-gram stick. I'm gonna drop an 8-ounce gold hammer jig. This isn't, you know, we're not gonna call it slow pitch jigging, we're just gonna call it jigging, all right? And using these power assist reels to help us keep our jigs on the bottom for, you know, the maximum period of time. So, never caught a fish doing this. It'll be a first. Let's see what happens.
All right, Mike, what do we got? How's it working?
Well, trying to find my rhythm, you know what I mean? Trying to understand with this reel, which is a single-handed operation, trying to find that rhythm of using that power feature to help me gain line, to work the jig. But so far, pretty interesting. You know, first drop. So I think it's going to take a few drops to find that nice fluid motion of how I want to incorporate that reel.
Just raising it about 20 feet off the bottom each time?
Exactly. Exactly, dude. I'm just fishing it. I want to keep that jig no more than 20 feet off the bottom. Those tile fishing groupers, they live on the bottom, period. You know what happens if you come way off the bottom, you catch nothing.
And then how much scope you think is too much where we got to bring it all the way up and start again?
Right now, dude, I'm at like 760 and we're in 630. So I have 760 feet of line out. So this is probably going to be it. I'm going to work it off the bottom right here.
It's like a nice smooth motion.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Just trying to find that rhythm. You know?
2-3 feet each time?
Each time. Looking at that number, it's literally moving 2 or 3 feet. And now, here's the beauty, right? This is the benefit. I think the biggest benefit of these power assist reels is I want to drop my jig again because I want that vertical presentation. The more vertical we are, dude, the better we're going to get bit. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely.
Right? You got to keep that jig vertical. So
no discouragement from bringing it back up and
that's
resetting.
Right, because bringing it back up is a lot of work, right? And it takes a lot of time. It's inefficient. That's really what it is. So I think this is going to allow us to be more efficient jig fishermen out in deep water if we're committed to it. So here it is. We're bringing it up. We'll see what happens. All right, you got that rhythm, dude, just with the one-handed operation, right?
Change to the hip is a lot different. It made it a lot easier to run that thumb and just
To do what? Where do you put it?
putting my thumb right here, lifting up, dropping it down, and we're running just a little bit of power
Little power on the way down.
on the way down.
Right, so just picking up that slack with that motor on the way down.
Get up about 20 feet, drop it right back down to the bottom.
Got it. All right, we've been working hard, made a lot of moves. Finally, Bobby's tight. Bobby's hooked up on the power assist, jigging. How deep, Bobby?
Well, I had about 900 foot of line out, but we're in about 630. I got about 400 to go.
So this is really what's interesting with these reels is, of course, you can use the power assist as much as you want or as little as you want. We don't suspect this is a big fish. I mean, maybe a tile fish or something, or a small grouper. But either way, it's something. I mean, what do you think about the power assist jigging, you know? What's your opinion?
We can do this all day.
All day, and that's the difference, right, dude? Between doing it manually, where you can't drop all day long.
One of my favorite parts is if something gets screwed up, you can't find the bottom, you don't know what's going on, it's no big deal to pick it all back up and start over. It only takes a couple minutes. You're not using all that extra energy.
You know what, dude? That's a great point, right? Whereas if you were doing it manually, you couldn't be this effective. Right. And look, mine, I'm just bringing mine up here. I'm at 310 feet to go, just bringing it up quickly. Where are you at?
200, 180.
200, 180. Wow, that thing's shaking its head like crazy. Over me?
Yep.
All right. Let's see. No, the other way. Okay. There you go. And now I'm under you here. Perfect. Just watch my cord. There you go. All right. Nice.
Getting close.
Shaking like maybe a tuna.
Could be.
That'd be nice. Look, I mean, look at that rod tip, right? Look at that thing shaking.
He's pulling more now than he has in the beginning.
On the 400 gram jig, 20-pound diamond braid.
We're gonna stop the reel right
there. Yeah, baby, we're tight. Yeah, look at that bend right there. Dude, I'm telling you, that really looks like that'd be amazing. That'd be awesome if that's a nice blackfin.
Fighting now. He's actually starting to take line.
Yeah, and where are you?
57.
57. Slow down a little. Okay. There you go. And we're fishing relatively light drags. I mean, this is 20-pound test. Okay, 20 pounds. So it's all about finesse fishing. We don't see anything yet.
30.
30 feet. We got the reel set to feet, not meters. Swimming still. Oh, there he is. I got color. Getting close. It's beautiful tuna on a jig, down deep, 630 feet. Yeah. Got him. Oh.
Here we go.
All right.
Power assist, jigging on 630 foot.
Beautiful. Hey, we'll take that all day, baby, all day.
Little sashimi tonight.
Yep, so that's our first fish using this power assist jigging equipment. And I can tell you what, it's not going to be our last. Because if it wasn't for that, we would have given up on this a long time ago. All right, back to the dock here, dude.
Awesome.
Scored, all right? Only got the one tuna, but that proves
it works.
You know what I'm saying? And certainly, without doubt, the power assist electric reels for the jigging allowed us to really keep our jigs in the strike zone for a long period of time.
Yeah. Jig much longer.
Dude, if we had to do this manually, we would have been back hours ago.
Agreed.
So, you know, we never found a grouper that we were looking for, but picking off a nice blackfin, certainly a great thing. And I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to doing more of this. I want to explore more of the bottom, spend more time with these jigs down on the bottom, which we can do. That's the benefit of this, you know, of the power assist. It really is an innovative tactic. Look, I'm not saying it's for everywhere all the time. Of course not,
but
right?
it has its place.
Has its place.
And it makes it a lot easier so we can fish a lot longer.
It's a tool, dude. It's a tool, you know what I mean? Like everything else that we're just going to use, you know, when we can to maximize on the bite. So, hey guys, let's take a break from the action. Check out the progress on our fishing lodge. I want to remind you, this is going to be home to Captain Mike's Offshore Fishing Academy. We're going to have amazing classes, hands-on instructional courses on our 41 Mercury-powered Sea Hunter CTS. This is really going to be awesome. These guys are making big progress. You know, here we are. What month is it here?
Middle of May.
Middle of May.
Really close.
I'm thinking a couple months, man, 8 weeks, and we could be welcoming our first anglers. So let's go check it out.